My unfaithful girlfriend let her ex-boyfriend stay at our house to receive emotional support after his breakup. So while she was at work, I packed her things and changed the locks. I'm a 30-year-old man, was dating Amanda, a 26-year-old woman, for about 14 months. We met on a boat trip with friends. She was cute, seemed fun, and we just connected. Maybe too much. Looking back, she had this way of becoming exactly what I wanted, like a kind of relationship chameleon. First red flag that my idiot self completely ignored. Everything moved very fast, and she moved into my apartment about 6 months ago when her rent went up. At least that is what she told me. I later found out that her roommate had actually kicked her out for borrowing her clothes and jewelry without permission. My apartment is nothing fancy, just a one-bedroom in a decent neighborhood, but it is mine. Only my name is on the lease. I pay all the bills, all of them. She would occasionally chip in for utilities or buy groceries and would always remind me of it, as if it were her fair contribution. But buying hot Cheetos and White Claw twice a month is not contributing financially to the household. The first few months were good, or at least I thought so. When you are in the middle of a slow-motion accident, sometimes you do not even notice the smoke until everything is on fire. I started noticing weird things about 3 months in, things that make you feel crazy for even mentioning them. But there was always this shadow hanging over us. A 1.88-meter shadow named Tyler. Tyler was her ex. They dated for almost 3 years before they broke up, about 8 months before we met. And my God, I heard his name all the time. It started with small things. We would be watching a movie and she would say, "Oh, Tyler and I saw that in the theater. He hated the ending." Or we would try a new restaurant. Tyler said the pasta was overrated, but the steak was incredible. Or I would suggest a weekend trip. Tyler and I went there once. It rained the whole time, but we enjoyed it anyway. Always with that dreamy little smile, as if she were reliving a magical moment. The first few times I let it go. Past relationships come up in conversation. I get it. I am not an insecure teenager. But it kept happening, practically daily, sometimes hourly. One night, about 3 months in, I finally said something. We were cooking, and she mentioned how Tyler made that recipe with more garlic. He learned it from his Italian grandmother. Did I tell you about when we went to Naples? I put down the spatula and asked her, "Why do you talk so much about Tyler?" She was surprised, as if I had asked her why humans need oxygen. Do I? I do not think I do. Yes, you do it a lot. In fact, a day does not go by without you mentioning Tyler and his superior pasta making skills, or his travel stories, or whatever. We were together for 3 years, Ryan. It is part of my history. It does not mean anything. She shrugged and went back to chopping vegetables as if I were being ridiculous. I let it go that time. I tried to convince myself that I was overreacting, but the comments about Tyler did not stop. If anything, they increased. A month later we were shopping, and she held up a sweater. Tyler had one like this. It looked great on him. It could look good on you too. As if I should be flattered by that comparison. I tried again. Seriously, what is with all the references to Tyler? It is starting to get weird. She got defensive, her eyes shining. God, you are so insecure. We are just friends. It is not a big deal. Friends? You still talk to him regularly? That was new to me. Yes, we text sometimes. So what? We did not end on bad terms. He is a good guy. Another new thing for me. Still, I tried to be the understanding, mature boyfriend who does not get jealous of exes. My first mistake, but seriously, I was already frustrated. I kept going to work, to the gym occasionally, trying to convince myself that everything was fine. At the office, Cassidy from accounting always said hello to me when we crossed paths in the hallway. Just 3 words. "Hello, Ryan." But her look said more. She would smile. A small smile that made me feel human again, instead of a combination of an ATM and a therapist. It is not that I was checking her out. I am not like that. But when your relationship is turning into a dumpster fire, it is nice to be reminded that there are still normal, sane people out there. What really started to eat at me was how Amanda acted as if we were the perfect couple on social media, but completely different in real life. She would post pictures of us with captions like, "My forever person," but then on our anniversary night, she would spend the whole time texting under the table. She would get hurt if I did not buy her expensive gifts, but she never remembered anything important about my life. After a year, she could not name my best friends, but she expected me to memorize the birthdays of her entire extended family. About 5 months into living together, I realized something truly depressing. I was happier when she was not home. When she was gone, I could relax, watch whatever I wanted, eat whatever I felt like, not worry about saying the wrong thing that would trigger an hour-long argument about how I do not support her dreams, which changed every week, by the way. One week, she wanted to open a bakery. The next, to be a travel influencer. I started staying later at work just to have some peace. I would volunteer to work weekends, anything not to be alone with her, and that weird tension that filled every room. My friend Marcus noticed and asked me if everything was okay. I gave him some excuse about saving for a vacation, but I think he knew. He went through something similar with his ex a few years ago. Then came the night that changed everything. I was in the kitchen making stir-fry, nothing fancy, just trying to make a decent dinner after a long day. I am not a chef, but I get by. I was trying a new sauce I found at an Asian grocery store. The elderly woman who ran it practically forced me to buy it, assuring me it would change my cooking forever. She was not wrong. I was focused on not overcooking the vegetables. I learned that lesson the hard way. Amanda came in from her spin class, still in her workout clothes, cell phone in hand, as always. She seemed particularly lively, almost euphoric, and she was not even sweaty, which was weird for someone who had supposedly just done 45 minutes of intense cardio. "Hey, babe," she said, grabbing a piece of pepper from the cutting board. "I need to talk to you about something." Those words never announce anything good in the history of relationships. "What is up?" I asked without taking my eyes off the walk. It had been months since I had stopped dropping everything to give her my full attention after realizing it was always about some minor drama or a complaint that could clearly wait. It is about Tyler. His girlfriend just broke up with him, and he is having a really hard time. He is having panic attacks about being alone and all that. She said as if she were talking about the weather. I could feel where this was going. I put the spatula down slowly, as if I were in a movie where everything starts to move in slow motion. "He needs emotional support right now," she continued, scrolling through her Instagram as if it were the most casual conversation in the world. She literally was not even looking at me as she suggested what came next. I told him he could stay here for a while until he recovers emotionally. "You want Tyler to move in with us?" I asked, keeping my voice neutral, although inside all the alarms were going off. She hesitated for just a second. That little pause told me everything I needed to know. "Just temporarily," she said quickly. "He is very sensitive and he cannot be alone right now. You know how artists are with breakups." I raised an eyebrow. "And where exactly would he sleep?" She shifted her weight from one foot to the other. "Well, the couch is not very comfortable for sleeping long term. And you know Tyler has back problems. I thought he could share my bed, and you could sleep in the guest room just until he is stable enough to live on his own again." There it was. She wanted me to move out of my own bedroom so her ex-boyfriend could move in with her. "Amanda, this is my apartment. My name is on the lease. I pay the rent." "Our apartment," she corrected me, which was complete nonsense. Considering my name was the only one on the lease, I paid 100% of the rent and about 90% of everything else. "And this is not about property," she added. "It is about being a good person. Tyler needs us right now." "Tyler needs you," I said, "specifically you, in your bed, while I sleep in the guest room of my own apartment." She rolled her eyes. "God, why does everything have to be about intimacy with you? This is about friendship and emotional support. Tyler and I are over everything romantic. We have evolved. He just needs someone who understands him in this vulnerable moment." The audacity was incredible. She had basically announced that her ex was moving into our bed, and somehow I was the bad guy for questioning it. I wanted to explode, to let out everything I had been holding in, every lie, every excuse, every fake girls' night she used to cover herself. But then I looked at her. She was so confident and disconnected from reality, genuinely believing it was a reasonable request, as if bringing her ex to my bed was not enough reason to break up. That is when I realized it. She no longer saw this as a relationship. No, really, for her this was just a living arrangement with benefits. I was not her partner. I was background noise with a wallet. So, I do not know what came over me, but I simply said, "Okay." At that moment I knew I was done with her, but I wanted to see how far she was willing to take the charade, to what extent she thought she could get away with it. She was surprised for a second, and then she smiled. "Really? That is great. You are such an understanding boyfriend. I will let Tyler know. He is thinking of bringing some things over tomorrow night. I am going to get in the shower." As she walked away, I noticed she was already typing on her phone, no doubt giving Tyler the good news. Her thumbs were moving so fast it looked like she was disarming a bomb. I just stood there, feeling strangely calm, even though my relationship had just blown up in my face. For the next hour, I mechanically finished making dinner while she showered and got ready. My mind was racing, planning my next move. She came out in clean clothes and served herself a plate. She did not thank me for cooking. She did not offer to do the dishes. She just took the food as if it were her birthright. "It is pretty good," she said between bites, surprised that I had managed to prepare something edible. "Oh, and Tyler might stop by later to see where he is going to sleep. Is that okay?" The audacity, the absolute nerve of this woman. "Tonight, maybe he is very emotional right now and wants to see where he is going to stay. But do not worry, we will probably just talk for a bit in the living room," she said as she gave me a kiss on the cheek and grabbed her purse. "I'm going to Target to buy some things Tyler might need. Then I will meet Jen for a drink. Do not wait up for me." She kissed me on the cheek and walked out the door before I could answer. I heard her car start, and something inside me just clicked. I called Jen right after Amanda left, just to confirm my suspicions. "Hey, Ryan. What is up?" Jen answered, surprised to hear from me. "Are you meeting Amanda for a drink tonight?" I asked directly. The pause told me everything. No. I have not talked to her since last weekend." "Great. Thanks." That was all I needed to know. I hung up and looked at the now cold stir-fry on my plate. There was the last nail in the coffin of what I thought was a serious relationship. She was not even trying to hide it anymore. She was just lying on autopilot because it was easier than telling the truth. As soon as her car left the parking lot, I looked at the time, 7:22 in the evening. She usually spent at least an hour at Target, plus drinks with Jen, which I now knew was code for being with Tyler. That gave me at least 2 or 3 hours. I had plenty of time, but better not to risk it. I stood in the middle of the kitchen and made the decision. This ends now. Not tomorrow, not after a big confrontation. Now. I got the bins from the hallway closet and started with her clothes. I did not fold them carefully. I just grabbed handfuls and stuffed them inside. Her precious $200 jeans went in along with her Forever 21 tops. Dresses for special occasions, crammed in with gym clothes she barely used. I almost threw in my favorite hoodie by accident before remembering it was mine. It is just that she wore it so much it already lived in her drawer. She had taken over 3 of my drawers despite having arrived with just 2 suitcases. Funny how that happens. I checked the time, 7:40 in the evening. I was taking too long. I had to hurry before she could come back. In the bathroom, I put all her makeup, facial cleansers, and hair products into a bin. Dozens of half-used bottles of serums and creams, many still with the price tag on. Her jade face roller that cost $75 also went in there. I remembered how she would hide it whenever Tyler called. God forbid he found out she spent so much on a rock to rub on her face. I found her jewelry box hidden behind my video game consoles, which was weird because she always said she did not know where she had anything. Inside was not only her jewelry, but also some pieces I did not recognize, including a man's watch. It was not my style or my size. Everything went straight into the bin. While I was stuffing her things into the bins as if they were expired food, I started calling locksmiths between loads. The first 2 were busy or did not work at night. The third one agreed, but only with a high emergency fee for after hours, $250 just to show up. A daylight robbery, but given the circumstances, it was worth every penny. He told me he would arrive in 45 minutes. I gave him the address and continued packing. By 8:30, I had most of her things ready. 3 large bins, 2 suitcases, and a trash bag full of shoes. I probably missed something. After 6 months, her things were everywhere, but I took the important items, the ones that really mattered to her. Her precious collection of Bath and Body Works candles she never lit, but kept buying. Her pile of self-help books she displayed, but never read. The decorative pillows we needed that made the couch unusable. I found a shoebox hidden under the bed, full of tickets, photos, and what looked like love letters. Out of curiosity, I opened one. It was dated 3 months ago, well into our relationship, and signed Forever Yours, T. It went straight into the bin. There was no time for that pain now. I checked my phone. No message from Amanda. Better that way. The locksmith arrived at 9:05. He gave me a knowing look when he saw all the suitcases ready. "Tough night," he asked as he took out his tools. "It has been coming for a while," I replied. I showed him the lease and my ID to prove I had the right to change the locks. He nodded and got to work. Women, right? He said as he installed the new lock. I did not answer. It was not about women. It was about Amanda and her lies, about the person I thought I knew who turned out to be completely different. After that, he worked in silence. He probably thought I was in emotional shock. Maybe I was. At 9:40, the new locks were installed. 2 new keys in my hand. I paid him, leaving him a $50 tip, because I was grateful he came so quickly and also because I wanted him to remember me positively if the police came asking questions later. Not my noblest thought, but you have to be strategic in crises. As soon as he left, I started carrying the bins and bags down to the curb. For trips up and down the stairs, constantly checking my phone. One of the neighbors definitely saw me from her balcony, but she just gave me a small nod of approval. I think she had already seen Amanda sneaking around at strange hours enough times to connect the dots. Mrs. Wilson did not miss a thing. She is a high school principal with hawk eyes. I arranged everything neatly. I am not a monster. And I took a picture of the pile. Now came the hard part. I needed Tyler's number. I checked Amanda's contact list on my laptop. She had logged into her Google account months ago and never logged out. I found Tyler listed as an emergency contact, which in itself was a special level of unhinged. I sent him the picture. Amanda is ready to start your emotional support program. Her things are at my house. She said it would make you happy to help her with the transition. 10:13 at night. There was still plenty of time before she came back from her trip to Target and drinks with Jen. I went back inside, locked both new locks, and sat on the couch. My hands were shaking. Adrenaline is weird like that. You can feel completely calm in your head, but your body knows you are in fight or flight mode. For about 20 minutes, nothing happened. The apartment was strangely quiet. I could hear the hum of the refrigerator, the neighbor's TV through the wall, a car alarm going off in the distance. Then, my phone exploded. 18 missed calls, 9 voicemails, 31 text messages. I read through them. Ryan, what is wrong with you? Answer the phone right now. Are you crazy? My things are on the street. I am on my way right now. You are going to regret this. Tyler is in crisis. You cannot do this. My clothes are outside. It might rain. This is abuse. I am calling the police right now. This is illegal. That last message made my stomach knot. Could I really get in trouble? Was it technically an illegal eviction? I put the phone on silent and tried to breathe. It was going to be a long night. I called Marcus, who is in his final year of law school, but it went straight to voicemail. Great. Just when I really need legal advice from the guy who normally does not shut up about contract law at parties, he is not available. I walked around the apartment, jumping at every sound, almost expecting to hear sirens at any moment. Around 11:30 at night, the knocking started. It was not knocking, it was banging, the kind that makes the door shake and probably woke up half the building. Ryan, open this door right now. I looked through the peephole. Amanda was there, mascara running down her face, like a raccoon in the rain. Tyler was behind her, uncomfortable, in his button-down shirt and stylishly ripped jeans. He looked around nervously, as if he wished he were anywhere else. Tall, handsome by standard measures, I guess, with that carefree hairstyle that clearly takes 45 minutes in front of the mirror. He was exactly the kind of guy who would need emotional support from his ex-girlfriend. Ryan, I know you are in there. This is my house too. I took a deep breath. Amanda, this is my apartment. My name is on the lease. You decided your ex was going to move into our bedroom without consulting me. I did not agree to that. Your things are outside. Please, leave. You cannot do this. I have rights. You are not on the lease. You do not pay rent. Simple facts, stated calmly. I am going to sue you. I am going to tell everyone you are an abuser. I am going to ruin your life. My thought at that moment was, what if I really screwed up legally? What if she can seriously destroy me with this? I have seen those stories on Reddit, where men end up completely ruined by the legal system, even if they have done nothing wrong. Finally, Tyler spoke. Amanda, come on, let's go. We can sort this out tomorrow. He sounded tired, maybe even a little embarrassed. I wondered if this was how she acted in all her relationships, creating drama, pitting people against each other, always being the victim. Do not tell me what to do, she yelled at him. Then she started banging on my door again. Ryan, you have until 3 to open this door. 1, 2, I stayed silent. What was she going to do when she got to 3? Exactly. Kick the door down? Call in an airstrike? Okay, you asked for it. I am calling 911 right now. I heard her dial, and then launch into a tearful story about how her boyfriend had thrown her out on the street, that she feared for her safety, and that she did not know where she was going to sleep that night. An Oscar-worthy performance. Honestly, if lying were an Olympic sport, Amanda would have gold medals on all her walls. After about 15 more minutes of threats and banging, a neighbor shouted, "Shut up, or I will call the police myself." Finally, Tyler managed to pull her away. The last thing I heard was, "This is not over." I barely slept that night, jumping at every noise, expecting the police to knock on my door at any moment. I imagined all the possible scenarios: being arrested, explaining to my boss why I missed work because I was in jail, trying to pay for a lawyer with my mediocre savings. A real mental festival. Around 1 in the morning, Amanda's friend Jen called. I almost did not answer, thinking maybe it was Amanda using her phone, but I decided to risk it. "Ryan, what the hell happened?" Amanda just called me crying her eyes out, saying you threw all her stuff on the street and changed the locks. I was exhausted, but I explained. Tonight she told me her ex, Tyler, was going to move in with us, into our bed. She wanted me to sleep in the guest room of my own apartment so her ex-boyfriend could give her emotional support. I am not okay with that, Jen. Jen was silent for a moment. Wait, Tyler was going to move in with you, into your room? And she just told you? She did not even ask? And she has been talking to him all this time behind your back? Yes. Okay. Wow. That is really messed up. I always wondered why she would leave our girls' nights early to run errands. But throwing her stuff out, that is pretty extreme, Ryan. And what was I supposed to do? Let her ex-boyfriend move into my bedroom after she has been lying to me for months? She sighed. I do not know. This is all a mess, but be careful. She is saying she is going to get you in legal trouble. That did not help my anxiety at all. But it was interesting that Jen seemed more surprised by Amanda's behavior than by mine, as if Amanda had a history of this kind of thing that I did not know about. After hanging up, I took a sleeping pill and crashed on the couch. I did not want to sleep in the bed we had shared. It felt contaminated somehow. The next morning, I woke up to more messages from Amanda, demanding I let her in to pick up her essential things. Her list included the television. We chose it together. Yes, but I bought it while she just pointed at the biggest one and said that one. Her work laptop, which was at her office. She had complained last week about having to carry it back and forth. The vintage record player, a gift from my brother for my birthday. Her important financial documents. That did worry me. The emotional support plant, a cactus I had for 3 years before I met her. Her grandmother's jewelry, whose grandmother, by the way, is alive and lives in Florida. The documents did bother me. What if I had missed something important? I replied, I packed what I found that was yours. If there are specific essential things you need, send a detailed list through someone else. I will check if they are here, and I will leave them with the building manager. You are not coming in. Her response was a string of insults so vulgar they would make a sailor blush. Something about my mother, my manhood, and my future chances of finding someone who would tolerate me. I blocked her number after that. Life is too short. Around noon, Marcus finally called me back. Thank God, man. I just saw your calls. What happened? Are you okay? I told him everything. How she tried to move her ex in, how I packed her things, how she lost her mind and threatened legal action. I tried to sound calm, but my voice was breaking. He listened and then gave me that mix of relief and concern that only a law student can offer. The good news, she was not on the lease. The bad news, these kinds of self-evictions can get complicated, especially if she could prove she had lived there long enough to claim tenant rights. He asked me the basic questions: how long she had lived there, if she received mail at my address, if she had paid any bills. I told him, yes, for about 6 months. She got mail here. She did not pay rent, but she sometimes gave some money for utilities or groceries. Nothing regular. He told me I was probably fine, especially since she tried to move her ex in without my consent, but he still warned me that there was a small chance the situation could get complicated. He advised me to document everything: messages, screenshots, especially the ones mentioning Tyler moving in, and that if the police came, I should stay calm, show the lease, and explain that it was a security issue. It was not the total guarantee of being legally safe that I wanted to hear, but it was better than nothing. I spent the next few days jumping at every knock on the door, convinced it was the police coming to arrest me. I even ordered food for delivery and told them to leave it at the door because I was too paranoid to open it. Around noon on the second day, Tyler sent me a surprisingly civilized message. Hey, Amanda needs some important things she says are still in your apartment. Can you check when you have time? There was no apology, but at least he was not threatening me. I checked what was left of her things, mostly junk she had left in drawers and cabinets, and I found a folder with some bank statements and a passport. Also a framed picture of her with Tyler that she had kept hidden in her nightstand. That was a special level of. I put everything in a manila envelope and left it with the building manager, just as I promised. Tyler picked it up the next day. According to the manager, he seemed embarrassed by the whole situation and barely made eye contact. Good. At least someone had the decency to feel uncomfortable with this mess. After 4 days of tense waiting, the police did not show up. I started to breathe more easily. Maybe she was just bluffing, or maybe even the police did not want to deal with this level of relationship drama. But a week later, the real bombshell dropped. I ran into Jen at the coffee shop near my work. Pure coincidence. I was ordering my usual black coffee with an extra shot, and she was in front of me in line. Ryan, holy cow. Did you hear what is happening with Tyler? She looked horrified, but also like she was dying to spill the gossip. No, what happened? Remember Amanda said Tyler's girlfriend broke up with him? Well, Tyler was married. His wife just filed for divorce because she found out he had been having an affair with Amanda for months. Apparently, she hired a private investigator and has photos, hotel receipts, everything. My stomach dropped. Are you serious? Yes. The whole girlfriend breaking up with him thing was a complete lie. He was cheating on his wife with Amanda, and Amanda knew the whole time. She pulled out her phone. And listen to this. Amanda has been posting on social media that you abandoned her in her time of need, and that you left her homeless and heartbroken. She showed me the posts. There was Amanda, playing the victim, saying I had kicked her out for trying to help a friend, and that I was controlling and abusive. All completely made up, but written so convincingly that anyone who did not know the story might believe it. Have you talked to Amanda about this? I asked. Jen rolled her eyes. She is saying Tyler's wife is lying and that she was just providing emotional support to a friend. But the private investigator has proof, Ryan. Hotel reservations, restaurant charges, even pictures of them together. And she knew he was married. The wife found messages where Amanda was asking Tyler when he was going to leave her for her. I felt sick, but also relieved. I had gotten out of something worse than an awkward living situation. I had gotten out of being an unknowing accomplice to the destruction of a marriage. And where are they living now? I asked. That is the best part, Jen said with a satisfied smile. Tyler's wife kicked him out and froze all their joint accounts. Amanda thought he had money, but it turns out almost everything was in the wife's name. They are broke and sleeping in Amanda's car. As we were talking, Cassidy walked past our table. Hello, Ryan. Just 3 words, she said, smiling. I smiled back. Jen noticed. She raised an eyebrow, but did not comment. Thank God for those small reliefs. 2 days after Jen showed me Amanda's victim playing posts, Tyler's wife called me. Her name was Sarah, and surprisingly, she sounded calm and serene. Hello, Ryan. I hope you do not mind me calling. I got your number from the private investigator's report. I just wanted to thank you for what you did, even though you did not know you were doing it. Sorry. What do you mean? When you kicked Amanda out and she showed up at Tyler's apartment demanding to move in, that is when I knew for sure something was going on. The investigator got some very good pictures of that whole scene. They are going to be very useful in the divorce proceedings. She explained that she had suspected Tyler was cheating on her for months, but had no proof. When Amanda arrived with suitcases saying that Tyler had promised she could move in, everything was confirmed. The investigator had been following Tyler and documented the entire affair, hotel visits, dinners, even the night Amanda had supposedly gone to Target and for drinks with Jen. Did Amanda know he was married? I asked. Oh, yes. The investigator found messages where she was pressuring him to leave me. She even sent him pictures of engagement rings she liked. Sarah's voice was neutral, as if she were talking about the weather. She thought he had money and was planning their future together, but she was wrong. I am a lawyer, and I made sure to protect our assets years ago when he started spending uncontrollably. Sarah was going to get everything in the divorce, the house, the cars, the savings. Tyler was left with debts and a shattered reputation in his small social circle. As the word spread, Amanda's support system crumbled faster than a sandcastle at high tide. According to Jen, Even the people who initially believed I was the bad guy started to pull away when they learned that Amanda had knowingly broken up a marriage. 2 days after Sarah called me, Amanda tried to contact me from a new number. "Ryan, please, I know you are angry, but I need help. Tyler and I have nowhere to go and no money. I made mistakes, but I am learning from them. Can we please talk?" I did not answer. A few hours later, another message. "I know I hurt you, but what you did was cruel. I am sleeping in a car. Please, just let me get some of my things and then." Okay, be insensitive, but this is not over. I have rights, and I am going to explore my legal options. I forwarded all the messages to Marcus, who told me they actually helped me, as she was basically admitting she had no legal right to my apartment. According to Jen, who had become my unexpected source of information in this whole saga, Amanda and Tyler had been living in her car until it was repossessed for non-payment. They had been couch surfing at friends' houses until everyone got tired of their drama. Tyler's parents refused to help him, embarrassed by the divorce scandal. Amanda's parents lived on the other side of the country and had cut her off financially months ago when they found out the money she asked them for emergencies had been used to finance her affair. They ended up in a weekly motel, splitting the cost between Tyler's unemployment benefits and Amanda's new job at a call center. Their emotional support relationship was being tested by poverty and the reality of living together without anyone else paying the bills. She sent me one last email accusing me of being insensitive for not supporting her journey of growth and healing. She said I had destroyed her life and ruined her chance of finding true love. I deleted it without finishing it. It has been about 2 months since what my friends now call the Great Emotional Support Eviction. I do not regret anything, not one bit. For me, life is getting better. I asked Cassidy from accounting if she wanted to go out to dinner after work. She said yes. It turns out those 3 words she always said to me in the hallway did mean something after all. We have been dating for 3 weeks, and it is amazing how different it feels to be with someone normal. No games, no hidden agendas, no ex-boyfriends who need emotional support. Just real conversations with a human being who is not trying to manipulate me. My friends took me out to celebrate what they called my freedom. Marcus admitted he never liked Amanda, but he had not wanted to say anything. Derek said he always felt a weird vibe from her. Even my mom, who tries to see the good in everyone, just said, "I am glad you are happy again, Ryan," with a tone that said much more than words aloud. This whole experience taught me valuable lessons about boundaries, self-respect, and trusting my intuition. When someone shows you who they are, believe them the first time. And when they try to move their ex into your bed for emotional support, change the locks. The last I heard from comments that reached me was that the relationship between Amanda and Tyler fell apart about a month after they were kicked out of the motel for not paying the rent. It turned out that Tyler's idea of emotional support was for Amanda to work double shifts at the call center while he stayed home, working on his art and playing video games. She finally realized she had destroyed her life for a guy who was as much of a mooch as she was. Tyler moved back in with his parents in another state with his tail between his legs. His ex-wife, Sarah, remarried someone who does respect marital vows. Amanda now works at another call center and lives with 3 roommates in a studio apartment. Her social media went silent when her victim narrative stopped generating sympathy. The funniest part, about a month ago, Amanda sent me a friend request on Facebook. I guess she thought enough time had passed that we could be friends again. I took a screenshot and sent it to Cassidy, who laughed so hard that wine came out of her nose. We were having dinner at that fancy rooftop bar downtown, the same one Tyler was supposed to take Amanda to on their first official date. Sometimes the trash really does take itself out.